This is Asake Online. Welcome to Agriculture on Site. There is a growing global interest in the growing and the processing of industrial hemp and cannabis, also known as imbanje locally. This week we visited Thathokuhle Farm to participate in an industrial hemp and cannabis field day, where various stakeholders were actually showcasing the opportunities as well as the obstacles in the growing and processing of industrial hemp and cannabis. We'll learn more from the presentations.
And he said, Mike, I heard you do CBD this. He said, we're needing 60 tons a month. I said, yeah, we can do it. He said, right, good. What time of year do you harvest? I said, all year round. He couldn't believe it, okay? Because in most countries, one grow. In our country, we fruited, we can grow 3 times a year. We can grow through winter, a little bit of a smaller plant, but also less pests, less problems, okay? So we are so lucky in Zim with our weather. I promise you, we are God-given. We have the right people, we have the right environment. We just need to work together. Like with Kutsaga, I'm doing a lot of research into it. We are going to be with them doing research because strains is very important. A lot of people get into growing, you'll find cheap seed. Be careful because you will put it in, and when you do your CI, they don't want it. You've done all that work for nothing. So it's really important we go through Kutsaga and make sure that your variety you're going to grow will meet the standards that are required for somebody to export to certain countries. Because certain countries, you have a CBD and then you have a THC limit on it. Some countries, 0.3 THC and above, they won't accept. Other countries, up to 1%. But also what we have a lot of problems with, like I said, we have brokers in this country coming to buy our stuff, and they're all, I'm going to say, full of shit, sorry. But they are. They need to, they come in here saying, oh, we want to buy biomass at $5 a kg. And then when they come to see you, they say, no, can you select the buds of 16 millimeter? They're not buying biomass. Biomass means everything for the plant except the main stems. And that should go at $5 a kg because it's a cheaper price, but it's for everything, so it's big volumes. When they come and say, yes, biomass. I always use the word biomass, biomass. When they come and get the product, they want bud. Yes. And that is two different things. If they want bud, it's a certain price. If they want biomass, it's a different price. So these are the things we need to go through government with and make sure that our people are not getting ripped off. Like I said, we are too many brokers coming in here trying to get cheap products. I was explaining to the gentleman earlier that I had people walking around here, cannot take enough photos of plants. When we're walking up, they're asking me, what's my kilowatt hour? How much do I pay for Zesa? How much do I pay for water? You ask them, why are you asking me this? It's just because we will see how cheap. Guys, not cheap. If we can produce the right product with the right quality and it meets the standard, we should get paid the right price. And clever from Emma, you can see, I've seen bud of CBD going for up to 10,000 euros. Don't get excited about it, but I've seen it for that sort of price. If we can get $70 to $100, which is decent for bud, that's what we should be getting, and the rest biomass. So there's a good way to work out, but we need to make sure that we don't get conned and connived.
So another one for you. So I see a lush green plants.
Yeah.
Can you take us through what you're doing with regards to your soils? How are you taking care of your plants through the soil?
Okay, where's Brad?
Yeah.
Brad will come in? Sorry, this is my son. He does the nutritions in that with the microorganisms, and let me explain to him.
At Thathokuhle, we focus on regenerative agriculture, which is in a way good because a lot of people are moving towards that direction. A lot of countries are looking at, or a lot of big companies are looking at investing in carbon credits and stuff like that. Regenerative agriculture is one of the ways to do it. So regen is not organic and it's not conventional. It's a mix of the two. We focus on feeding the plant as well as feeding the soils. So it sounds strange, but there's millions of microbes, even more in the soils. I think there's millions and millions of microbes in just a teaspoon of soil. So we use different things like fulvic acids, humic acids and that to feed the microbes. We also introduce the microbes into the soil, like you can get beneficial microbe mixes. These help by releasing nutrients from the soil that is already in there and make it available to the plant. They can also produce growth promoting hormones for the plants. The plants in their own way feed the microbes through exuding root exudates. And then while we're doing that, the microbes are benefiting the plants. We are also feeding the plants a specific nutrition plan with salts, because as these plants grow, they require different ratios of your macronutrients, NPK. During vegetative stage, we want to focus on mainly on nitrogen, and then we focus a little bit on potassium and phosphate. But when we get to flowering stage, we focus more on potassium phosphate and then almost drop nitrogen out completely. One of the benefits of working with microbes with cannabis, there's been a paper done on it where they say that the root microbiome, so those microbes sitting around the root zone, they can have an effect on the way the plant smells. A lot of the markets for cannabis, even for the high-end CBD flower, they are looking for a good terpene profile, which means a nice smelling flower. Having microbes in the soil growing like this can improve the way your flower smells. So that's basically what we do. We put all of our fertilizer through the irrigation using a fertigation tank that allows us to get a more uniform application of fertilizers. We can even put our fulvic acids and all of those microbe feeding nutrients through the drip irrigation as well. We also use foliar sprays. These are like plant growth promoting, I wouldn't call them hormones, it's like seaweed. So kelp can help with your flower density. You can also use your foliar sprays to make sure that your micronutrients are all there. They found that salicylic acid can be beneficial to cannabinoid production. So your foliar fertilizers are specialized feeds that you give your plant just to boost the growth a little bit more. Also, if you see your plants facing a nutrient deficiency, you can correct it quite quickly with a foliar spray. And then, yeah, the other sprays we'll do will be biologicals and that to control any pests and disease.
Super. I'm seeing this is beginning to flower.
Yeah.
And I've heard that. Am I allowed to touch?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm told that before cannabis flowers, it's just exactly the same as industrial hemp.
Yes.
Everything about it, if I take the leaves from this cannabis
if
plant,
you see this is a THC, even now you couldn't tell the difference between CBD and THC until you put it into a test with the lab.
okay,
You can't tell the difference
okay,
because even with colors and trichomes and all the rest of it, you can get CBD flower that is full of trichomes, colors, so you can't tell the difference between a THC and a CBD until you test it.
okay, all right. So they are like kids in my house.
Yeah.
They are all cute little girls.
Yeah.
Until maybe the time
But
they get to
some have
puberty, then
different-
things that happen.
Some have different attitudes, yeah.
Oh. Okay. And what are you using the stocks for, like right now?
So, like I said, I've given some to Dr. Zoe and that they're using it for production of shirts and all that sort of stuff. But what I heard when I was in Botswana is very important about the carbon credits, because we can turn this to charcoal, biochar and all the rest of it, you get another carbon credit.
Yeah.
So that's what we should be looking at, because DHL apparently is the biggest user of carbon credits. They are looking to buy carbon credits. If they buy carbon credits, they don't pay tax. So it's one thing we need to look at carefully, and for the government set up, or make sure we do it properly and utilize it, because apparently this is 10 times, cannabis is 10 times the carbon unit of a tree. And you can get, like I said, you can get it twice and maybe even 3 times if they start putting it into the ground. So it's all money basically, because you're growing the plant, you're getting paid basically for nothing, or for growing the plant. And then making charcoal and then getting paid. So it's all about saving the earth and that.
I think you're very correct, because I think other countries have now started having biochar council, biochar union, biochar. So I think
So
it's
we need to get onto it, because Zimbabwe can grow more than anybody else. I can promise you now. I know that they're looking at the industrial hemp of doing 100 and something thousand hectares, and there's a lot to it. But we need to all get on board and get together and say, like with the carbon units, it's very important. Every bit of money our farmers can get, the better it is.
Yeah, so biochar is a fantastic product. So with Kutsaga, what we do is normally when we come to the end of the tobacco season, what we do is we harvest tobacco stalks, then we take them through a process where we convert that feedstock into actual biochar, right? We actually mix it with microbes. So I also invite you, if you are able to maybe visit Kutsaga in Harare, we've got ongoing trials. You can get to witness the benefit that comes with applying biochar.
It's
right?
very good for your
We've
soil.
seen, yes.
I
So
asked that question because I understand from the medicinal cannabis end, people are supposed to ban this. And when you go out there, you see there's so much money in it. Because I was in South Africa only last week, attending the symposium that was held by the University of Joburg. And they were surprised that you're still banning. What's wrong with you guys? Yeah, that's why I had to ask that question when the authorities are here, so that when we then get to the next stage, we know. I'm an aspiring hemp farmer. I've told the group that I work with that please don't get into this mess until we get to the bottom of everything. So we are running like medless chickens all over the show, wherever there's an event about industrial hemp, about cannabis, because we want to understand this better and to not get our fingers burnt.
So for me, I encourage everyone to ask as many questions as you can. We've got experts here that are able to at least, whatever question you think might be a question you think is silly, but there's no silly question. I encourage.
How much would I need to invest in a hectare of this place?
So an outdoor hectare, I did a project for the Minister of State, Honorable Judith Nube, to set up 1 hectare outdoor grow for a farmer. That's for CBD, for industrial hemp, okay? That's including a borehole, a generator, lights, irrigation, fertigation tanks, plants. So to set up fencing, security, to set up a hectare is about, for the inputs, is about $34,000. So I've done a whole, sorry?
Starting from scratch.
No, that's starting, that's your land prep, everything. So it's about 34,000. Because I have been in places when we've had meetings and somebody asked a question exactly like that. How do small farmers get involved in the cannabis industry? And I've had somebody turn up and say, unless you have $3 million, don't come and talk to us. That's wrong. It is totally wrong. Okay, it's wrong to say that. We can and we need to get our farmers involved in cannabis.
So do you have any outgrowers that you envisage to be working with?
Yes, so what we have done through the Honorable Judith Nube, there was supposed to be an Egyptian loan coming out. We're still working on that. Then we have another funder, I won't name him, but he has offered to look at funding 40 farmers. So with that 40 farmers, we also, what I'm trying to do is set up, we need to go look at all of their places. So they're putting their names down at Judith Nube's office. You go put your name down there. Once we have the list and the funding is secured, we will go to every farmer, because we need to make sure the land is correct, the water is there, that is done right, because this project will not fail. I will not let it fail. We go there, we check, we test and look at everything. Once it's right, they get the inputs, not the money, the inputs. We put that in, and also, so I'd like to do it in 3 different areas. We're looking at Nyamandlovu, probably down this side in Douglasdale, and maybe in Chabez area, Sugudini, as a start, because what we need to do is put up drying barns. So, and then what I would like to do is calendar grow the, if I have 10 farmers there, tell them, right, in Bofo, you put your plants in. 2 weeks later, Mube, put your plants in. So that the barn is not overstocked. And then all the marketing and all that goes through the barn, and then the funder gets paid back and the farmer gets paid. So that's what we are looking at the moment for Matby land at the moment. Because the funder is from Matby land, looking after these people. Honorable guy, very good to see that he's trying to inject and help his people. So I take my hat off to that man. I won't give the name, but we are working very closely, and I think it will be coming off soon. We've done all the work on it. As soon as the funding gets in, we'll start checking all the farmers and then notifying the farmers who are receiving the inputs, and then the barns will be going up.
Okay, maybe another question. In terms of traceability, what
Yes.
are you doing?
On our side, we have a track and trace system from Grow IQ from Canada. That's what we're using on our side. But for the industrial hemp, I mean, it's basically our genetics. I don't think there's too much on the track and trace on that side. It's more on the medicinal side that needs a full track and trace.
What is the lifespan of the plants?
As long as you want. If you keep a light on it, you can hold it to a tree the size you can't believe. So long as you keep lights on it, it'll keep growing. So you will determine the life of the plant, because the minute you change the light hours, she'll start to flower. So you have different plants. So most areas they'll have like a 3-month or so veg stage, and then 8 to 10 week flowering stage. But in Zim, those plants are put in later. Those are only like 2 weeks of veg, and I turned the lights off. In Zim, our plants grow very fast and very big. So that's why I'm hoping for the farmers we're looking on the outgrowers program, I'm hoping to get in 3 grows a year. Taking your clones or your seeds, getting them ready 6 weeks before your product comes out. So as you take out, and because you're using regenerative agriculture, there's no rotation of crop. You can take out and put the same crop back in again.
I hope that was clear.
Yeah, there's another question here.
Yeah, I heard you say THC and CBD. What do those stand for?
So yeah, can you explain the THC and CBD?
THC cannabis is your drug type cannabis. It contains tetrahydrocannabinol. That is what they use, or what they term medicinal cannabis. So that's the more regulated product. CBD is cannabidiol. It's basically all cannabis plants produce CBD, and all of them produce THC. But you get sort of high THC varieties, which would be in what is in this greenhouse, and then you get high CBD varieties. In some instances, you get sort of low CBD and THC varieties, which would be your plants they're using for fiber mainly. But your high THC varieties, they'll do high THC percentage, like 15 to some people can get up to 25%, and then a low CBD percentage usually. Your CBD varieties will do a good amount is about 10 to 15% CBD, and then you want to be, in most cases, at least below 1% THC. Your CBD is I use it for wellness. You'll see CBD oil capsules, CBD creams, things like that. That's
Recreation.
less, no, recreation is THC. You can't really get high from CBD. Some people in SA are doing now, I think they're called Leafolo. They are supplying CBD flower as an alternative to tobacco. So people that are looking to get off smoking, you're smoking and it makes you relaxed. It doesn't make you high. Relieves pain, makes you relaxed. So they're using that now as an alternative.
Because it also doesn't contain nicotine or tar.
No, it doesn't contain nicotine or tar. It doesn't you don't get addicted to it. So yeah, CBD, that's the one you can grow outdoor as well. It's less regulated even on global markets, and that as long as your THC is below the threshold, it's quite an easy plant or an easy product to market.
Yeah, we've got a question over there.
I just wanted to know, do I need to have a license to start growing industrial hemp?
Yes, you do. 3 Emma. Emma supply the licenses. I think it's now $200.
So what was the question again?
Do you need a license to do industrial hemp?
Oh yes. So yes, you do need a license to grow industrial hemp. I think there are 3 licensing regimes for industrial hemp. One is for a cultivator. The second one is for a merchant. The third one is for research and breeding. So those are the 3 licensing categories that are available under industrial hemp. I think for more information, you can familiarize yourself with the statutory instrument 218 of 2020. That's the statutory instrument that stipulates
all the requirements, terms and conditions, what you need to comply and to be licensed. In terms of the fees, I think you're looking at $200 for cultivators. Then the research and breeding, that's the one for $500. The merchant is also $200, so it's quite affordable. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll take.
Is it not 400?
Sorry?
Is it not 400 with the other one payable at research?
Which one is for 55,000?
The other one.
That's for THC.
58,000, yeah.
That's for THC.
Maybe you want to share.
There is the additional 200 that you pay to plant quarantine,
Oh, yes.
bringing the total to 400.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay,
So our license is industrial hemp. For medicinal cannabis, that's under MCAS, under the Ministry of Health. Yeah. So, but though we do work closely in terms of collaborations around licensing.
So
But I think it's also good to mention that there is need also for security clearance
Yes.
as part of the conditions.
Yeah. So that's why I said I think it's quite detailed what's captured in the statutory instrument, and maybe yes, there are quite a number of conditions, especially to do with security, that one needs to comply with for them to be licensed for both industrial hemp and medicinal cannabis. Yeah. So I think maybe through the AMA team, let's create a portal where we can also share this information to those that are interested in the growing of both industrial hemp and medicinal cannabis.
Okay, so thank you so much for that, sir. So as he's alluded, we have stands. So if you want to get additional information on how to register and things like that, you can just attend or go to the AMA stand. So we'll just take one more question and then we'll move on to the next sort of section. She was first, so we'll take a question from her, but if you have anything else, when we get back to our tent, you can ask additional questions. So one more question from them. Thank you.
I just wanted to know whether you have got any literature about the whole process of.
I can give you, ma'am. I can. I bought books. All of my team have done a lot of research on what we do. It's a good question, but come to me and I can give you literature. There's a good book you can buy on cannabis. A really good book. I'll show you. It's in the office there. It's a really good book, thorough on cannabis.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Very Europeans love it. So when they had ambassadors from UAE saw this fix, he was like, oh, we can. And look, growing on rocks. So we just need to identify all farms. What we can do on all farms. This is CBD. This is what we retail of the one field. So we're trimming it now to get high quality butter. And I'll show you a picture just now that clever from MSC last year. So if you remember what these buds look like now, I'll show you a picture that they're selling in Amsterdam. Our product, sir, is way superior. And that's why we should be getting the right price for it. Not coming in and trying to scoop us here. That's what's happening. Let me just show you. It's quite dark in here because cannabis, you don't when you dry, you don't want lights. And also cannabis, when I first got into it, I thought it was like tobacco. I thought, where do you put the heat? No heat. So it's very important when you're drying cannabis, the temperature and the moisture content. So you're looking at about a 21 degree, you want to keep your barn at. It should dry in about 7 to 10 days. And you want to keep your humidity between 40 and 60%. So we have, when you first put your plants in, your humidity will go through the roof. And you've got to be careful of that because if there's too much humidity, you'll start getting mold. So we have dehumidifiers, taking the water out. And then when you see you dropping below like 40, 30%, we put on humidifiers so we can increase. So it's a very careful balance of how you dry your cannabis. About leaf everything. It's a cheaper product. But the expensive product is the bud. And the problem, like I said, the brokers are coming in saying, we want to buy biomass. You sort out a contract with them, $5 a kg, you say, that's lekker. So out of the field, we should get 10 or 12. The amount you can get of that and the price is wrong. So yeah, we hang the plants off here, both sides. You need a bit of spacing so you don't get mold. Mold is a very important thing to watch for. So all of these buckets here are full of CBD bud that will be going through into the trim. Even the trim you said, you can sell the trim at this. It shows you see the coolness of that. This is how cannabis dries, not hot. That's the centralized barns that I put up. That's what I need to do. Grow a few strawberries and whatever and try and market that. But if we get together and we have centralized barns, all the farmers in the area can come to that barn, we get it EU GMP certified, all the rest of it, then we can market and sell from the barn for the farmers. So that's what I'm looking at, and it's the same with the cannabis. Bring them, all the outgrowers come to one centralized barn, we stage it in, like I say, grow it in stages, calendar grow it, and then at least everything gets marketed, and also the buyer is also assured that it's right and correct through government, that it's going through one process. At the moment now we are, because it's a funder, we're trying to get as many farmers involved. The money is available for 1 hectare each per farmer. But 1 hectare each per farmer, if we do it correctly, and I'm not including labour costs in that because most of us at our commercial have got people. So you should make an average of about 100 grand a year, which is huge for any farmer in Zimbabwe. So that's the game and the aim that we are looking at. And that's what we need to take the government and sit together and push it in that direction so our farmers can all, the President's vision is actually looking at the 2030 vision. This is a way to do it. It's one of the ways to do it. Yes, I know we've got our minerals in that, but we pride ourselves in agricultural economy. And we need to get onto it and move it because there is things that can make his vision happen.
Yeah, so just a quick comment. So I think what we're doing here, just so that people appreciate and then we quickly move on. Yeah. Because no one, even if people ask questions, we won't be able to answer. So maybe just after appreciating, I think it's done, we'll just move on.
All right, guys, so we'll move down now. I'll take you through the trees, past our fruit trees that we're trying to do. I'll explain something on the windbreaks, and then we'll go back to the fish. Let's go. It sells for 300 in the shops. You see there's a lot of thorns on it. Okay, so what you need to do with this, a fruit is like caviar. So it's a fruit that when you open it, I'll just show you quickly. It's that. Okay, so they call it fruit caviar. It's highly in demand. So it grows in Queensland. Queensland has the same weather as us. But now, because of all the thorns, you need to protect the fruit. Because if there's too much wind, the thorn will prod. So what I'll be doing is putting a bonox fence around this whole area. Then run a drip line, grow grenadillas on the fence. And that big plant there, grow next to it. And then chilies on the bottom. So when I put water on the plants, the water's there. I've got a windbreak, but I also have 3 products plus this. So it's maximum land utilization. And then it's a finger lime. Yeah. Comes from Australia. It's called fruit caviar. So when you break it like a citrus fruit, there's millions of tiny balls that are used for cooking. They put in champagne. They use in cocktails. It's a really good product. And we're also going to set up there's every type of fruit, just to see what does well here. I have a lychee in there that has no pip. So there's a lychee that's just flesh. And you ask, how do you grow more? So my son's going to set up a tissue culture lab. And we do tissue culture, so we can also, even with the cannabis, we can do different strains, mixed strains. So we need to start doing all of that to make things like market for Zim better.
So for the climatic conditions, this one requires high temperature.
High temperature Queensland, yeah. So that's what we are looking at, finding products that are high value that do well in our environment.
How long does it take to mature?
2 years. This plant is only about 6 months old. She'll be up here. Next year she's starting to produce already. We've got some already on the trees, but next year she'll give us our first crop.
How many years will it take for fruiting?
No, 2 years. Next year she'll be fruiting. She started to fruit already. Some of them have started to fruit, but next year we'll get a decent harvest. Third year, full harvest. Those 2.5 years we're starting to get our first harvest now.
Survival.
Sorry?
It's survival. How long can it survive?
No, it lasts a long time. It's a tree. I think 50 years, 20, 40 years.
What is the name of this plant, Mike, and what is it used for?
Finger lime. So it's a citrus fruit. If you break it open, it comes in different colors, yellow, purple, green. When you break it open, it's like caviar.
Okay.
And it's a fruit caviar that they put into champagne. They use for cooking. They use for cocktails. It's a really sought after. It grows in Queensland. It's endemic to Queensland, Australia. Our weather's perfect for it. You can see these plants were put in like 6 months ago, just before winter. Okay. And they are just booming. So that's what we need to look at in Zim. Dragon fruit for farmers that don't have a lot of water. Dragon fruit's a really good thing. It's a cactus. Doesn't need lots of water. We've put in 70 different types of fruit trees here, just to see what does well. We've done lychees, pomegranates, nectarines. There's a 3-in-1 fruit. There's walnuts, Buddha's hand, starfruit, jackfruit. Just to see what does well, because all of them are exportable and worth a lot of money. So when we get farmers, we can see who can grow what.
Can you help me with the spelling for this one?
Finger, like your finger.
Finger lime, yeah?
And then
Finger lime.
L-I-M-E, lime. Finger lime.
Like lime.
Yeah, look it up and you'll see. Unbelievable. It comes in a lot of different colors. It is a really good plant to grow.
So it's naturally, the fruits will be different colors? Or it's just
Yeah, so the fruits will come, you'll see it looks like a finger. You break it, it comes in champagne, pink, purple, white, green, all different colors. That's why it is so, it's for the high-end market, but let's give it to them. No, of course you can use it locally. And in Zim, so your first sort of small harvest that comes off, you know that in Zim, if a cherry or a finger lime in South Africa costs so much, when it comes out in Zim, it's normally double the price anyway. See that going right there? And that is just river sand underneath it.
Okay.
Just plain river sand. The nutrients is efficient. Yeah. So inside here we've also got crayfish. Okay. So there's 3 products here. And you can grow anything in there. It doesn't have to be strawberries.
And you say there's some fish in there?
Crayfish, yeah.
Ah.
So they break down the big fish. Regulation, filtration. Even that we try, that's the first one we try, right? Still in America. So we feed twice a day, but the fish know there that if they bump that wire, the fruit falls out. And they know it already. They bump the wire, fruit falls out.
What's the capacity of each pond?
800 fish, but like I said, that new fish I want to get, 8,000 fish. So now 8,000 tons, 47. The Pingasius, the yield per hectare per year is 250 metric tons. That's what we need to get here. So better quality fish and higher production.
Right, thank you very much. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, from our field talk. Coming live in Thathokuhle is a 3.1 plus or minus 4.10 plus 3241 decibels into your ears. Mina enkhulumayo, my name is Carlos Ngozo. I'll be your director of ceremonies. Likanchela izandla bakithi. Isikhiwe sinjalo wayasitshela. Aze ahleka ama captain letters. Right, so thank you very much. Today, being a very beautiful day, silandeke i-field day yethu khonapha nje Thathokuhle Farm. When you go for field days, then the farmer, Mr. Quill, shares part of the produce with some of us here. So initially, I believe. Ukhona omnye okathi kimi uyabona sengeqayiqa maybe bafake imbijana ethiyeni lapha.
Honorable Minister has been here on several occasions, indicating the importance of this project to her responsibilities in the office. She feels that this is a very important project which will contribute directly to the gross domestic product for the province. She did even arrange a meeting here on this site through Mr. Michael for potential farmers to meet here. I think we had over 60 potential farmers, some 3 months ago. And it shows that this is a very important project to her, where she made her own personal assessment and saw that this project, if it is going to be replicated elsewhere, especially in this province, it would have a multiplier effect to the economy of the province. So she has sent me to make sure that we continue to not only preach this word to potential farmers, but also highlight that this project be put at that level in the Ministry of Agriculture to an extent that it can be highlighted at national level, and it can also become a learning center. Because as you have noted when we were going around, you want to appreciate that Mr. Quayle and his family are not only ordinary farmers, but they are quite good experts in this area. They know a lot of detail which is very important for potential farmers and even some other professionals in this field, because they are quite equipped technically, and also they have that zest and will to develop this area. This area was just a forest some 3-4 years ago. It's an area that you would want to come and see every other time. You are developing your own Garden of Eden. Yes, with cannabis, but you also want to see that the different kind of trees that are being grown here indicates a commitment from one family for the need of so that the country can progress in this sector of the medicinal hemp. Here in Matabeleland, a lot of work is being done to promote the growth of this subsector, and this field day is a shot in the arm in these efforts. I am pleased to share that an investor was identified by this office to sponsor a total of 40 farmers for CBD flower production this forthcoming season. As a region, we are very excited about this development, which is a key milestone in the growth of this sector. Since the value chains are new, we are not unmindful of the various challenges that confront the players in the sector. Some of the challenges include, but not limited to, lack of local seed and the high cost of production. But with unity of purpose, these challenges are surmountable. Today's Field Day is a step in the right direction as we build both the hemp and the cannabis subsectors brick by brick and leaving no one and no place behind.
We are going to get an overview of the industry of farming at large. Huh? So to do that, I'm going to ask Mr. C. Isaiah, the CEO for AMA, to come forward and give us a brief industrial overview.
It is my great honor to welcome you all to this momentous occasion, the Industrial Hemp Field Day. As the Agricultural Marketing Authority, we are thrilled to share insights into a sector that holds immense potential, not only for Zimbabwe, but for the region as a whole in terms of agriculture and industrial development. Industrial hemp represents a turning point for our country. Its versatility is unparalleled with applications spanning across different use cases. When you look at industrial hemp at a global level, we have seen that there are quite some exciting developments. The industrial hemp market is poised for robust growth as industry continue to shift towards greener solutions and explore the industrial hemp vast potential. According to the Global Insights, the construction sector could reduce its carbon footprint by 25% by incorporating industrial hemp products in their applications. There's quite also a number of interventions that are coming from government to ensure that we can promote sustainable production of industrial hemp. At this juncture, I would also want to take this opportunity to applaud and acknowledge our Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution for the Bulawayo Province, Honorable Jane Ncube, who has identified an investor to support 40 farmers in the production of industrial hemp on 1 hectare plots in Nyamandlovu, Douglasdale, and Umzingwane. Maybe at this opportunity, let me just acknowledge by applauding the work that's being done by our Honorable Minister in promoting production of industrial hemp. One important aspect I think that we can also learn from our host farmer today, Mr. Michael, is around value addition that can be done on both industrial hemp and medicinal cannabis, because without value addition, I think we'll also be exporting value. So it's important that as we look at ways of developing this subsector, how can we add value to this value chain so that we can enhance earnings and also improve livelihoods for those that are involved in the production of industrial hemp. Lately, we've also seen some companies that have taken a lead in terms of value addition. We have some companies that are now producing complementary medicines. Additionally, we have some companies that are also looking at producing hemp cigarettes, and there's quite a lot that is happening to enhance value of this subsector. Looking into the future, I think there are quite a number of areas that have been highlighted, particularly from our host farmer, that we also need to look at to address them and also ensure that there are more and more farmers who are participating in the production of industrial hemp. I think one of the main areas is on the need to capacitate our farmers through training programs and equip our farmers with the right tools and knowledge for production of hemp. Issues of certification also come to the fore. I think this is also one of the areas that we need to look at, because if we are going to get certifications and get auditors and consultants from outside Zimbabwe, that also increases the costs of production. So with the teams that we have here, we need to explore ways of localizing certification in collaboration with our off-take markets. One of the areas, again, which is topical is around the regulations and the policy framework around production of both industrial hemp and medicinal cannabis, particularly the regulations which we need to review, in my view, with input from all the stakeholders, the farmers, our colleagues at MCAS, ourselves as AMA. I think we need to answer our call from the President of promoting ease of doing business. If our regulations are not supportive, will impede industry growth for this particular subsector. So it's also an area which we'll be highlighting to our Honorable Minister with some recommendations where we think this can be achieved in order to promote growth. As the Agricultural Marketing Authority, we will continue to support the farmers that are involved in this value chain, and I would want to advise that we'll also be hosting a symposium in the first quarter of 2025, where we are going to invite a number of off-takers to just come and have an appreciation of what is being produced in Zimbabwe. And we believe that the future is exciting, and this sector is poised for growth as we move forward with the support that we are receiving from the government, from our President, His Excellency, who's allowed the production of hemp by pronouncing a legal framework on which this can be done.
It's been an honor to have you guys here. Good to showcase what we can do. We started this farm 3 years ago. This was all bush. We started as a fish farm. I fell short on the fish farming because of the advice I was given. And it's important for farmers to realize we need to look into our stuff properly before we farm. We need to make sure that it's going to work. Cannabis, really good. It's going to be huge for this country. It grows so well. We are God blessed with our climate here, no pollution. We are good farmers, all of us. I know that in us. So we just need to get together and work together with our government and get this thing right. Because as you see on this farm, what we've done in 3 years, what can be done. So it's time to identify different farms in different areas and try and see what we can get them growing. My sort of outlook on it for the ministry is like we've done here. Dragon fruits we can do with people with less water. Get up your fruit trees is not hard to look after. Yes, it's a longer return, but when it kicks in, it's good. Cannabis every 4 months getting a return. Doing fish because it's good to have a holding water, you know, to secure like a storage dam, but growing fish in it and growing other products. So maximum utilization of land. I believe if we get together and work together, we're doing research on what grows well, but all of us getting together and working together with government, I believe His Excellency's vision is totally true of 2030, that we can become middle to high income, especially on the farming side. Yes, we have our minerals. We pride ourselves as an agricultural nation. Agriculture has moved in leaps and bounds. We need to follow that. We need to look at the strains, species, genetics on what we're doing. Because if we farm smart and utilize land properly, I mean, this country is great for farming. It's unbelievable. So I think it's just getting together with government, getting together with each other and sharing ideas and coming together. I believe we will make this country great.
My name is Dr. Kumbirai Mateva, and I am a Senior Research Officer with Kutsaga. And it is both an honor and a privilege for me to address this distinguished gathering on behalf of my CEO, the CEO of Kutsaga, Dr. Frank Magama, to discuss the transformative strides we are making in the field of industrial hemp and medicinal cannabis research at Kutsaga, as well as with our parent ministry, the Department of Research and Specialist Services. So our ongoing work in this sector is driven by a vision of basically placing Zimbabwe as a leader in this high potential industry. it is not merely about economic gains, but it is about sustainable development, right? Farmer empowerment, as well as positioning Zimbabwe as a global innovator in cannabis cultivation and product development. So what do we do as Kutsaga? So we have been operating within this space, the industrial hemp medicinal cannabis space, for a few years now. And basically we are governed by two key pillars, right? The first one being what we've been doing. We've been evaluating foreign genetics. So as Kutsaga and our parent ministry, what we've been basically doing is focusing. The focus has been on importing, right? Bringing in foreign genetics from across the globe, evaluating this industrial hemp and cannabis genetics from established sources globally, right? So bringing in material from outside and trialing it out across Zimbabwe, right? And the reason being is we needed to have an immediate answer for our growers, right? Growers are coming to us asking, what should I be growing? I'm very interested in this industry. So what we've been doing is we've been evaluating these foreign genetics so that the farmer doesn't have to take on that burden, right? You don't have to take that research cost. That cost is on us as Kutsaga. So what we've been doing is we've been trialing our foreign genetics across the country, primary sites being Harare, Banket, as well as Mashingo. And basically these sites have allowed us to, get important insights on how some of these genetics, and when I say genetics, I'm talking about the seed that we are putting into the ground and growing. So ladies and gentlemen, as Zimbabwe stands at the cusp of a cannabis revolution, right? Kutsaga and our parent ministry remain steadfast in leading this charge. We are guided by cutting-edge research, strategic collaborations, I mentioned this, and our farmer empowerment, right? So we basically aim to define a unique path for Zimbabwe that reflects our values, our heritage, and as well as our aspirations. Let us seize this opportunity to position our nation as a global leader in this promising industry. Together, we can cultivate not just a product, but a sustainable future for all Zimbabweans.
So, Medicines Control Authority of Zimbabwe was delegated authority to regulate cannabis by the Minister of Health. So among regulating the medicines, we were also empowered by the Minister of Health on his behalf to run with the cannabis regulations. So I'll not delve into the provisions of the regulations, but for further details, you can look into the statutory instrument 62 of 2018. So in the regulations, we have the procedure regarding the licensing. We have requirements on licensing of sites and licensing of persons. We have requirements on import and export of products, be it seed, be it exportation of the final product of cannabis. We also have requirements on compliance and enforcement. All these are detailed in the SI that I've stated. I heard someone when we were doing the tour asking that, so which one is the one for 55,000? So this one is the one for 55,000, the medicinal cannabis license. But I'm sure Mr. Quill will testify that the 55,000 is nothing as compared to the results that he will be getting in the near future on cannabis production. So in terms of SI 62 of 2018, we have 2 licenses that are issued. So it's either cultivation for research or it's cultivation and production of cannabis. We have few licenses on cultivation for research, and we implore those who are here today to explore this field as it will benefit the whole nation of Zimbabwe. We have, following the feedback that we've been getting from a number of license holders, we have gone onto a journey to amend the regulations. So among us other regulations that other amendments that we input in the draft amendment to the regulations is we propose to the minister that it might be necessary to consider outdoor cultivation of cannabis. You will notice as we're doing the tour that all the cannabis was in a greenhouse facility. So we heard most of the farmers saying, proposing that exploring outdoor cultivation of cannabis is a worth thing to consider in Zimbabwe. And we took that proposal to the Minister of Health. It is our hope that these proposals are going to be implemented. We also clearly outlined the requirements for on appeal. It was not clear where a license holder was going to go after a decision was made either by MCAZ or by the minister. So in that proposal, we have outlined clear provisions on appeal. We have also heard the cry from a number of our licensed producers on some of the fees that are therein, that they are high, and we have proposed reduction of such fees to the Minister of Health.
It is a privilege to stand before you at this groundbreaking industrial hemp and cannabis field day, hosted here at Thathokuhle Farm in Douglasdale, Bulawayo. We gather at a pivotal moment in Zimbabwe's agricultural history as we explore the vast potential of industrial hemp and medicinal cannabis, crops which are poised to revolutionize not only our agricultural practices, but also our industrial and economic landscapes. First and foremost, allow me to extend our heartfelt gratitude to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, for his visionary leadership and bold decision to legalize the cultivation of industrial hemp and medicinal cannabis. This progressive policy has unlocked immense opportunities for our farmers and positioned Zimbabwe as a forward-thinking nation in global agricultural innovation. The President's commitment to creating a conducive environment for new and sustainable industries is a testament to his dedication to improving the livelihoods of Zimbabweans and fostering economic growth. Let us take a moment to applaud his efforts in this regard. Industrial hemp and medicinal cannabis are more than just crops. They are a catalyst for transformation. Their versatility allows for their use in textiles, construction, biofuels, and pharmaceuticals industries. Today, we showcase their potential to create jobs, generate export revenue, and contribute to our nation's industrialization agenda. The Agricultural and Marketing Authority has been at the forefront of the industrial hemp journey, facilitating registrations, promoting sustainable practices, trainings, and spearheading initiatives like today's event. While the Medicines Control Authority of Zimbabwe is spearheaded on the medicinal cannabis front, we are proud of the collaborative efforts with stakeholders, including research, represented here by Kutsaga Research, as well as research from government, Fly Hemp Indiana, Thathokuhle Enterprises, MCAZ, and other key players who are helping farmers establish a foothold in this promising sector. While the prospects are bright, we must acknowledge the challenges ahead. Limited access to local seed varieties, high initial capital requirements, and unsold stock due to market gaps are hurdles that we as a collective must address. However, with the robust policies, innovative financing solutions, and strong partnerships, I'm confident we will overcome these obstacles. To our farmers, I urge you to embrace this opportunity wholeheartedly. Industrial hemp and medicinal cannabis represent high-value crops with immense potential. Through targeted training and support, we aim to equip you with the skills needed to succeed in this venture. To our investors, Zimbabwe is open for business, and industrial hemp and medicinal cannabis is an industry which is ripe for investment. With international buyers already showing interest and local companies advancing value addition, now is the time to be part of this transformative journey. Industrial hemp and medicinal cannabis is not just about economic gains. It is also a champion for the environment. From their role in carbon sequestration to their potential in the global carbon credit market, hemp and cannabis offer us a pathway to a greener, more sustainable future. As we have toured the fields, participated in the discussions, and learned from expert presentations today, let us remain steadfast in our commitment to realizing the full potential of industrial hemp and medicinal cannabis. Together, we can build a thriving value chain that uplifts our farmers, strengthens our industries, and bolster our economy. Let us continue to push boundaries and reimagine the possibilities for Zimbabwe's agricultural and industrial sectors. With unity, determination, and innovation, the future of industrial hemp and medicinal cannabis, and indeed our nation, is bright. I would like to thank you all for your dedication and for making time to be here today. Let us move forward with purpose and pride. I thank you. So what I will also take to the minister are some of the few issues that I got here. Obviously, we have also taken some issues that were coming out from the discussions and also issues that were coming from the various experts here. But what also came out from here is that we need to intensify research, the importance of good genetics. I think it was emphasized by the farmer, by the researchers, and by those who are already into the industry. Here, we also saw maximum land utilization, which I think should reflect at the various levels of farming in our country. We saw diversification here, which is very good for commercial farming. And we think by the example that we have seen here, other farmers can also emulate the same and maximize in terms of utilization of land despite the size that we may have. We also see from this field today the importance of improved production and productivity. That yes, we have got crops here that really produce highly and that we need to keep on improving in terms of our productivity. The high potential of export market, medicinal cannabis, we saw that we can export. We actually exporting very small quantities with regards to the availability of the market. So we need to do more in terms of increasing our export volumes. The issues of innovation and sustainable practices, I think they were also very clear at this field day and even in the discussions. Aquaponics projects, quite interesting. I think those can also be practiced even on much smaller farms and smaller plots, but very, very valuable. And we're also excited by the outgrower scheme plans that are there. And we think this is going to increase the number of growers, the number of farmers who are going to participate in this industry. And what was also interesting is the huge knowledge gap which is there among the various players. I think from these discussions, you have seen that we have got some very highly knowledgeable people here about this. But some of us, we were learning and we would have loved to keep on learning, spend the whole day learning, because we were actually hearing very exciting things. So I think, Dr. Kuchwayo, what we may also need probably to talk with the Honorable Minister is to make sure that we improve in terms of disseminating information to various potential farmers, so that we don't remain at the same level, but we increase, make a bit more noise about this, so that those who want to come into play, they can come into play with information, with knowledge, and also with partners who are able to come and assist. So we will discuss these things with the Honorable Minister and other things that also came out from this, and probably so that we can do more and eventually produce more medicinal cannabis. Thank you very much. I want to appreciate the invitation to this important function, and hope we are going to have more field days, more conferences, more meetings, more discussions on this until we increase production to the levels that we want.
There you are. The growing and the processing of industrial hemp and cannabis offers lucrative returns to those who actually embark in the industry. This is Asake Online. Join us again in our next episode, where we'll be speaking to farmers who have actually invested in the growing and the processing of industrial hemp and cannabis.